At exactly 0317 hours on April 16, 2026, the narrow throat of the Strait of Hormuz turned into a floating kill zone. The false calm of the night sea was shattered when three massive oil tankers flying neutral flags and broadcasting civilian AIS signals suddenly dropped their disguises. Container lids hissed. Open with compressed air, Iranian-modified Club K launchers rose from the decks while submerged Iranian Ghadir-class midget submarines released a swarm of low-signature underwater drones. Tehran's desperate gamble to punch through President Trump's naval blockade and reopen the vital oil artery had begun. They believed the U.S. Fifth Fleet was stretched thin after weeks of tension. They were wrong. The lead tanker, disguised as the MV Pacific Star, fired first. Four P-800 Onyx supersonic anti-ship missiles screamed off the rails at Mach 2.5, sea skimming just 5 meters above the waves, heading straight for the escort screen of the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group. At the same time, the electronic warfare suite hidden inside the second tanker activated a high-power multi-band jammer. Modeled on Russia's Krasakha system, GPS signals across a 40-kilometer radius collapsed. Link 16 tactical data links flickered with ghost targets. Iranian fast attack boats lurking behind the formation began aggressive maneuvers, ready to swarm any ship that slowed down. The trap looked perfect on paper, a coordinated multi-domain assault, surface missiles, underwater drones, electronic blackout, and suicide boat swarms, enough chaos to force the Americans to hesitate or pay in blood. But the U.S. Navy had been watching. On board the USSR LeBert-class destroyer USS John S. McCain, the Spy-6 V-1 radar had already classified the three tankers as high-threat Q ships the moment their container roofs began moving. The Aegis Baseline 10 combat system instantly shifted to automatic. Threat engagement mode. Vampire, vampire, vampire. Screamed across the net. Within 11 seconds, the destroyer's Mk-41 vertical launch system Ripple fired for SM-6 missiles. These long-range interceptors climbed, then dove in a ballistic arc, slamming into the incoming Onyx missiles with pinpoint precision. Two bright fireballs lit up the night sky. Simultaneously, an E-2D Hawkeye early warning aircraft orbiting 80 miles away fused data from the destroyer's radar and relayed a full targeting package via secure satellite link. What Tehran didn't know was that a Virginia-class nuclear attack submarine, USS Minnesota SSN 783, had been silently trailing the shadow fleet for the past 6 hours, hidden beneath the thermocline. It's an big one. Combat Control System had already mapped every acoustic signature from the midget submarines and underwater drones. At 0321 hours, the Virginia released a salvo of Mk-48 Mod 7 heavyweight torpedoes programmed for proximity detonation. The first two exploded under the hulls of the lead Iranian midget sub, creating massive cavitation bubbles that ripped open the pressure hull like a tin can. The second pair targeted the swarm of underwater drones, shredding their guidance systems in a hydroacoustic shockwave. The sea boiled, but the real nightmare for the Iranian-Russian operation was only beginning. The third tanker, packed with advanced Russian-supplied Lancet 3M kamikaze drones and a mobile high-energy laser Dazzler, attempted to blind the American helicopters rushing to the scene. A directed energy beam swept across the sky, temporarily washing out the FLIR pods on TUM 60R Seahawks. That single act of aggression triggered the next layer of the American response. Two E-18G Growler electronic attack aircraft, already loitering on station, activated their next-generation jammering JG pods in full barrage mode. A focused high-power microwave and noise-jamming beam swept the formation. Iranian radar screens went white. Guidance data links for the remaining Club K missiles fried. The laser Dazzler on the tanker overloaded and exploded in a shower of sparks. At the same time, from the deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln, a flight of F-35C Lightning II stealth fighters dropped into the fight. Using their distributed aperture system DAS and an APG-81 AESA radars, they painted the entire Shadow fleet with synthetic aperture radar imaging even through the heavy jamming. The F-35s didn't fire immediately, they waited. Because the most dangerous part of the operation was still hidden. Inside the command center of the lead tanker, Iranian Revolutionary Guard commanders were preparing a final desperation move. Remote detonation of scuttling charges that would turn the oil-filled ships into massive floating environmental bombs, a deliberate attempt to create an ecological disaster that would paralyze. International response. U.S. Signals Intelligence SIGINT intercepted the encrypted command burst. That was the moment the order went out. Execute Neptune's Spear variant. Tomb 60's Nighthawk helicopters, supported by drone overwatch, roared in low over the waves under cover of the electronic storm. 16 Navy SEALs fast-roped onto the deck of the lead tanker in zero visibility. Conditions created by the oil smoke and jamming. What followed was 47 seconds of brutal close-quarters battle CQB in narrow corridors filled with smoke and panic. SEAL operators, armed with suppressed Mk-18 rifles and flashbang grenades, cleared the bridge and engineering spaces. They neutralized the Iranian crew manning the detonation panel with surgical precision just 9 seconds. Before the remote signal would have triggered the charges, at the exact same moment, the USS John S. McCain closed to 1,800 meters and fired a single 5-inch 62 caliber round from its Mk-45 gun. The precision-guided shell struck the exposed generator compartment on the second tanker, melting the power system's feeding the remaining drones and jammers without igniting the oil cargo. The third tanker attempted to flee toward Iranian territorial waters, escorted by a pack of Revolutionary Guard Bagamar speedboats screaming at 70 knots. They never made it. A single AG-158 CLRASM long-range anti-ship missile launched from a P-8 Poseidon aircraft glided in at low altitude, its electro-optical seeker. Threading the needle between the speedboats, the missile struck the tanker's rudder and propulsion section, crippling it without sinking the hull or causing a catastrophic spill. By 0331 hours, just 14 minutes after the first missile launch, the entire Shadow Fleet operation was paralyzed. 2 tankers drifted helplessly, the third was dead in the water. The midget submarines were destroyed or forced to emergency surface. The underwater drone swarm was neutralized. Thus, Navy rescue teams, protected by armed RHIBs, moved in to secure the vessels and prevent any last-ditch sabotage. But this was no clean Hollywood victory. As the smoke cleared, SIGINT picked up frantic communications between Tehran and Moscow. One Iranian midget submarine had escaped in the chaos, slipping away with valuable acoustic data on the Virginia class. Sub's silent running profile. Russian advisors aboard the tankers had transmitted partial targeting solutions for US carrier positions before their systems were fried. The blockade held. The strait remained closed to Iranian shipping. Global oil prices spiked another 8% in the first hour of trading. Yet the message from this 14-minute firefight was crystal clear. Hybrid shadow fleets and disguised Q ships can no longer guarantee safe passage through contested waters. The oceans are now a transparent battlefield where every move is tracked, jammed, and countered in real time. The U.S. Navy proved once again that it can dismantle a sophisticated multi-domain ambush with overwhelming speed and precision, but the enemy is learning, adapting, and still lurking beneath the waves. What happens when the next Shadow Fleet brings hypersonic weapons or autonomous AI swarms? Will the next confrontation in the Strait end in 14 minutes, or will it drag the world into something far darker? The fragile peace in the Gulf hangs by a thread. What would you have done if you were commanding the 5th Fleet on April 16, 2026? Drop your tactical analysis in the comments. If this breakdown of real-time naval combat got your adrenaline pumping, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The next file on how advanced electronic warfare is reshaping modern battlefields drops soon. The sea never sleeps. Neither does the watch. Stay sharp. Timely tied directly to April 16, 2026, plus current Hormuz blockade tension. Unique scenario never copies the provided examples. Aggressive clickbait title with date for trending. Relentless pacing with exact timestamps and technical details. Multi-domain escalation. Surface, air, subsurface, SEAL CQB climax with countdown tension ends with lingering unease plus call to action for comments.